So when you're planning a road trip to Tawang, what should you keep in mind? So there are various things to keep in mind while traveling to Tawang. The most important and the vital thing to keep in mind is your inner line permit, which can only be obtained online. There's no way you can do it at the airport anymore. So when you're planning, after you book your flight tickets, the first thing is you end up making your IPL. It costs roughly around 500 rupees and is valid for a month. Once you've got your IPL, the next thing that you have to do is decide how do you want to get to Tawang. Do you want to hire a vehicle and go end to end? If you're in a group, that's the best way to go around exploring Tawang, is to hire a vehicle from Assam and drive through. The roads are flawless, and it's better to do the journey from Guwahati to I would say Balakpong and Bomdila overnight while going, since it cuts out all the dust and the heat along the way. It's okay to do the journey on the way back during the daytime because it's downhill and it's a more pleasant drive because you've already seen everything in Tawang. So you'll bypass the heat in a jiffy because you're anyways done with everything. Another thing that you should keep in mind is that pre-book your accommodation because Tawang is now bustling. It's the new tourist hub and it's very difficult to get accommodation in Dirang, Tawang and Bomdila over the long weekends and during season time, that is from March to June, because that's the peak season for people traveling to Tawang. Another thing that is important is to note that when you reach Tawang, to go to the snow points, that is Bumla, Sela Pass and Patsio, not Sela, basically Sangastar, you need a vehicle which is a Tawang only vehicle. So that can be arranged by your homestay or your hotel owner, who will charge you roughly anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 depending on the rush. So your vehicle which you are taking can only take you till Tawang. If you're planning on doing this by public transportation, then remember there's a direct bus which goes from Guwahati all the way till Tawang. It takes roughly between 16 to 18 hours. It's an AC bus in collaboration between the two governments, that's the Arunachal government and the Assam government. It's a flawless luxury bus. If you can manage to sit in a bus for 16 to 18 hours, the bus is the best way and the most convenient way to get in and out of Tawang. Another option is to take the network bus, which will drop you to which is an overnight journey and will drop you to Bomdila. From Bomdila you'll have to take the route sumos, which will be pay per seat. A seat from Bomdila to Tawang is roughly anywhere between 800 to 1000 rupees per seat, regardless of which seat you get. And once you have got into Tawang and Dirang, Bomdila, all the towns and villages in Arunachal, that is West Kamen, you have to explore on foot because everything is within walking distance. You don't really need a taxi to go around unless you're somebody who's unfit, then you need a taxi. Otherwise everything within these places is extremely walkable because it's close by. Another vital thing to note is that the sunset in Tawang is at roughly any time between 4:30 to 5:36 p.m. So expect early nights, short days and long nights. It's extremely cold after sunset. Don't expect to have a shower, and getting hot water is a luxury in Tawang. Electricity power cuts are very frequent, so generator backups will give you electricity, but they will not be able to give you hot water because the geysers don't work. Over and all, the food that you would expect in Tawang is vegetarian food mixed with, you will find options for Chinese and Indian food which is non-veg, but more preferably it's better to stick to a veg diet so that you don't fall sick. And last and final thing would be drink a lot of water every day, so that helps you keep yourself hydrated because fluids are important for the oxygen to circulate, because you're at an altitude, you're crossing at least 10-12,000 feet to go to Tawang, and when you're in this such altitude places which are high altitude, you really need a lot of water to keep your body hydrated. A minimum of 2 to 3 liters a day is what you should be drinking consciously. Anything below a liter will end up with you falling sick even before you reach Tawang. Over and above that, to travel around Tawang you need anywhere between 6 to 8 days depending on the amount of time you want to spend in each village. But if you want to rush through everything, 5 nights 6 days is more than enough to see everything in Bomdila, Dirang, and a couple of nights in Tawang is more than enough to explore the whole journey.